So one of my most favorite things to do on this channel, and not one of my, this is my most favorite thing to do on the channel, and that is to get a message from you guys, an email or a comment in the comment section for a video where you guys ask a question or ask for some advice or throw out a scenario and ask me to walk you guys through how I'd handle it. So I received an email last week, 6 days ago. Thank you, Gmail, for fussing at me. From a gentleman by the name of Mike. Mike wrote an email. I'm going to go ahead and read it. He's got several questions. I think this is a really cool situation. I want to talk about it. So he says, "Hello, Edipark. I just want to start by saying that I found your channel. I've really been enjoying it. Not many people get into the type of detail and such that really goes into leading, being part of a successful guild raid team community. Not sure if it's ever been covered in another video or discussion, but onto our guild's issues. I've previously played WoW for several years, finally stopped, and began to play Final Fantasy XIV. As you've probably heard, the games are incredibly similar in a lot of aspects, raiding included. Our mostly casual guild decided to take the leap and began entering into more high-end raid tiers. I'll assume Mythic, if we talk in WoW terms, which is what we're going to have to do. Never played Final Fantasy XIV. But we'll say that he has stepped from Heroic into Mythic. But entered into more high-end raid tiers in this game with the better players in the guild. I took over as the sole raid lead as I had a bit more drive, experience, and knowledge of some of the classes in the game, as well as mechanics. Things began smoothly. Some people needed a bit of practice, but we got there farming the first few fights within the raid tier. Finally, we get to the second to last boss of the raid tier, which I had expected would take us a little bit longer as many of them were still inexperienced. Things began well. We actually managed to hit the enrage after 2 weeks. We only raid 4 to 5 hours a week, which I knew meant for the most part that we had the mechanics down. We just needed to clean up our deaths, work on our DPS. 2 months later, we still haven't cleared the boss. Every single raid night would be the same thing. Raider 1 makes a mistake. We hit the enrage timer or we wipe. Next pull, Raider 2 makes a mistake. Same thing. Hit the enrage timer, we wipe. So on, so forth. Every single pull, as if on cue or taking turns, each player would make a mistake or have a bad night that would lead to our downfall. The issue made it impossible to pinpoint one problem causer. I will say there are a few individuals who tended to make a few more mistakes, but not always the same people each night. I would talk to them promptly afterwards, and they understood. They told me that they would work on it. Next week, the same thing would happen. Simple mistakes. It became hard because I knew these players were trying hard, but ultimately I couldn't kick one without kicking them all, as they were all responsible for the problems. After all, even I would make mistakes, although less than others. Ultimately, looking back, I feel as if got an email. Ultimately, looking back, I feel as if, as a leader, I failed to push them or make the tough choices to sit or kick players. The group disbanded due to no progress being made after several months. Finally, down to my questions. How do I motivate these players to put in extra time or effort to clean up these mistakes? How would I go about remedying the problem? If it's not one specific person, but everyone in the raid, who do I potentially remove or sieve? If I were to start another raid team, how could I stop these problems sooner? As a side note, we would have weekly raid meetings where we would discuss the progress, how things were doing, what needed to happen. All the players were agreeable to the terms set forth, and many even added what they thought needed to be done or changed in order to succeed. Just want to wrap this up by saying thank you for your time. Your content is both educational and entertaining. I have some more potential questions and circumstances in the future I may wish to share, and that your videos and drive as a person almost make me want to go back to WoW and be part of a community that are both serious and fun like yours. Something that I think is rare and I feel I have missed out on. Mike. Okay, Mike, a ton of things here. So let's start from the beginning. For those of you that are interested in throwing out emails to me, email is in the About section. Absolutely, please do. If we skip all the way down to the end of your email, Mike, You say that you might have some other questions or circumstances in the future that you want to shoot my way. Hell yeah, dude. Do it. Shoot it over. I would love to check it out. Now, we are going to make some assumptions here because I don't know Final Fantasy XIV. Some of my guild members play it. Some of them are interested in kind of going on a long-term hiatus over to the game from WoW. Some of you guys have left comments or emails to me about the game, that it's really good, that it's fun, etc. I've never played it. So we are going to assume that this is almost a replica of World of Warcraft. That anything available in WoW is available in this game. I'm going to talk about mechanics and circumstances as if this is WoW. Okay? Just want to throw that out there. So this is a difficult situation. And the reason why this is a difficult situation is because I have been in this situation as a raid lead, as a guild leader. I find myself sometimes continuing to be in this situation. And looking at it from the outside in, as opposed to being the one dealing with it, I can say a few things. When I say this, I don't want to be malicious. So please don't take it this way. Did you fail to make the right decisions? Yes, you did. Obviously, I think you know this, right? Your raid group fell apart. You knew this, okay? However, with that being said, I want to make one thing clear. I've talked about it, in my leadership series. Determination is a big part of being a leader. Your ass falls down, you get back up. You get pushed down again, your ass gets right back up. That's what makes a leader a big part of being a leader, is you don't stop, you don't give up. That endurance and that determination to continue. And I think by some of your questions, how you say, in the future, if I did this, what would I do? Don't stop. Get that raid team together. Kill that next boss. So how do you fix these issues? How do you fix a group of players that is consistently making mistakes, causing raid wipes, causing problems? Well, there are a few ways that you can do it, but it all comes down to a couple of things. Setting expectations of what you, Mike, the raid leader, want and expect from your raiders, and then taking things away when they fail to meet those expectations. So, when we say set expectations, what I mean is this. Guys, we're on the second to last boss in this raid tier in Final Fantasy XIV. Here is what I want to see. We cannot die to fire on the ground. We cannot die to this instant kill mechanic. We all have to do this much DPS. We all have to do this thing. If we do not do these things, we will not kill the boss. If you are detrimental, if you are not keeping up your part of DPS, raid mechanics, whatever the case might be, I will sit you. Okay? Now, as far as taking things away, the easiest thing to take away, and probably the hardest thing for you to take away, is that raid spot. To go, sorry Mike, you stood in fire too many times. I'm going to have to sit you. But it needs to happen. The second thing you can do, and I'm going to get back to the first one, because I think the first one's probably the most important one. But an idea that we did back in Cataclysm, I think it was, and it worked out pretty well. Pissed a lot of people off, but it worked out very well. You fuck up to a raid mechanic, you get taxed. Thrallmagar, in Blackrock Foundry, the train boss. Can't remember his name. You guys let me know in the comment section down below. You get hit by that train, you owe the guild 1,000 gold. If I remember, that was a lot of money. Maybe it was 10,000, but it was a decent chunk of change back in Cataclysm. You stand in fire, you owe the guild 100 gold every time you do it. You die to this, you owe the gold. You owe the guild 200 gold, 500 gold. You get taxed for screwing up, and you either get broke and sit, or you get real good at dodging shit. That's one way to do it. The other way, and probably ultimately in the long run, the better way, the smarter way to do it is this. You know where your problem areas are. Fire on the ground, avoidable mechanic that people keep getting hit by, instant one-shot mechanic, right? Whatever. Let's take Mechatort, since we were just talking about it with my last video that we recorded. Just felt like I wanted to record a whole bunch of stuff. We know the problem areas. Don't get hit by Buster Shot or Buster Cannon. Don't blow up your bomb in the raid. Take cover behind the pillars. Avoid the shrapnel on the ground. Call out the correct color when you're in the robot. That's it. That's Mechatort. Done. That's it. Don't get hit by Blast Off. So we can set our expectations and go, look, if you blow up your bomb in the raid, I'll sit you. You know, now we set a number, right? Let's say if you get hit by 10 shrapnel in one pull, which is a lot of shrapnel, I'm going to sit you because you are a detriment to the raid group. Now, I don't know if this is the case, but again, we're going to assume this is World of Warcraft. Get your ass in trade chat and general chat in that main city. You replace them. You show them that they are expendable, that you can replace them even at that highest tier of difficulty. It is incredibly easy right now in WoW to pug several mythic bosses. No problem whatsoever. Easy. Very easy to do. And when we pug the much needed support for mythic bosses in Dazar lore, I get a ton of whispers. Take me, take me, take me, take me, take me, take me, take me. We run out of spots. And we've met some pretty cool dudes. But show them that they're expendable, that you can replace them. Easy as you want, you can replace them. So what I would suggest doing is this. Set your expectation. You get hit by 10, shrapnel in one encounter or one pull, I'm going to sit you. I want you to be in this raid. I want you, to be a part of this kill. But if you get hit by it, I got to sit you. And then those that fail, you sit them. You replace them. You make the raid and the guild know, look, we may have to take 30 minutes while I go and we recruit more people to join us in this pug. We will be okay with this. You will deal with it. You can go, read a book. You can play another game. You can do whatever. But I expect your ass to be in Discord, ready to go, ready to log in once we get people. But then the next week, what do? You bring everybody back. Mike, I know that you got hit, 15 times by shrapnel. And I said anything over 10, we're going to sit you for. I need you to fix it. This week it's 8. This week it's 6. This week it's 4. Slowly tighten that grip. And what you will do is one of two things. You will either have a raid member that improves because they don't want to lose that raid spot again. Because they're embarrassed and they want to push themselves. And they fix the issue. Or you will tell a raider, Mike, I cannot take you to the raid because you consistently screw up. Over several weeks, I've showed you what I expect. You've not met it. I'm sorry. I like you. I want you to be a part of this raid. But right now, you are a detriment in causing us to not kill this boss. That's what you do. Set expectations and slowly tighten them. Easy enough. If it's not one person and everyone is the cause of the issue, what do? You sit your weakest links. You sit the biggest offenders and you show the rest of the group, we will do this. This is how it's going to happen. I'll give you a chance to fix your issues, but I'm not going to put up with this crap week after week after week. If you were to start another raid team, how could you stop these problems sooner? Set expectations from the get-go, right? If you start a job, you know what your boss wants from you because they sit down and they should be sitting down and talking to you. My raiders should know what to expect. We want to kill this, that, and the other. Here's what you should not be fucking up to. Now, one of the things that I think is really cool, and I really appreciate it, I think it's awesome of you to do so. You said that you had a weekly raid meeting with your guild or your raid members. You'd talk about progress, how things could be improved. Love it. just make sure that you are doing this after or before the raid, right? My guild raids Tuesday and Thursday. Generally, our discussions happen on Discord that weekend. Maybe on Mondays. We generally don't do it Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Maybe a little bit on Wednesday. The whole point is people don't want to hear, when they're in a raid group failing after, several hours. Here is a big list of things that we need to improve on. This is where, your time as a raid leader is to fine-tune those issues, because you should have already fixed them, the other, whatever amount of hours in the week that you weren't raiding. So that's it, right? Set expectations and then slowly pull them in. And those that make it, great. Those that don't make it, they did it to themselves. Now, you said, and I can't remember if I said this at the beginning of the video, but I'm going to say it again if I did, that you had some other questions and circumstances. Dude, throw them my way. This was a great situation. That's shitty situation, but it's a great thing to talk about. I really appreciate it. Mike, and to the rest of you guys that have sent me or thinking about sending me an email, thank you. And until next time, guys, I'll see you.